How do you know if you're on track with your manifesting and that you'll be successful? That's exactly what we're talking about today on Mindful Manifesting Podcast. But just before we do that, would you like to learn how to remove barriers to joyful manifesting? We have a free masterclass this month, and I'll put the link in the show notes, and I'd love to have you there. Now, if you're new to the show, welcome. This is a show sharing manifesting tips and personal growth strategies for entrepreneurs so you can accomplish your goals faster and easier. If you've been listening for a while, I'd like to thank you and tell you how much I appreciate you. Now, on to the show. Episode 69, Stage 1, Pushing and Forcing Using Willpower or Being Stuck in Status Quo. I'm excited to go deeper into these 5 stages of manifesting success. If you're wondering what I'm referring to, I introduced the concept of the stages of success as some in the Manifesting Journey show 68. In each podcast, I'm going to go into detail about each stage, and I'll offer a recommended action item to move you forward. Let me give you a quick recap of the 5 stages here, where we are going to go deeper into stage 1. So stage 1, pushing and forcing yourself or being stuck in status quo. Stage 2, frustrated and frantic, taking random action and not succeeding. Stage 3, letting go of control. Stage 4, manifesting momentum and clearing blocks to receiving. Stage 5, inspired action and results, manifesting with grace and ease. I know, we all want to be in stage 5, but there's a journey, right? So let's go into stage 1. Let's go deeper. This is where we can be pushing and forcing ourselves using willpower, or that we just settle, we go along, we settle for status quo. We all start here in our development journey toward becoming conscious creators. Manifesting is a wonderful tool to help us accomplish our goals and grow ourselves. This is one of the reasons why I love teaching it. When we set an intention, and if we get blocked or sidetracked, we can look within and uncover the mindset, the habit, or the behavior that's been derailing us. And from that position, we are empowered just by the mere fact of setting the intention, setting our manifesting goal. We get to know ourselves better and we grow as people. This is an important point as I address these 5 stages of manifesting success. Remember, these stages aren't fixed, and we never just move forward to stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Nope. And then magically we never fall back. No, that's not the case. In contrast, we can move forward into a stage, and then when we're stressed or challenged in life, we try to solve the problem using what's familiar, like a previous stage. It's almost like we take 3 steps forward and 1 step back, especially if we are reaching beyond where we currently are. The bigger our intention, the more we have to grow to become that person who is worthy and capable of attracting that desire, attracting that intention. The good news is that unlike conventional goal setting, with manifesting, we get that double benefit. We make progress on our goals and we become a better person. We always learn, we always grow. We get insights into, oh, that's what I really wanted. Oh, that's why it didn't work out last time. So now, on to stage 1, pushing and forcing ourselves using willpower or settling for status quo. Please notice which expression you may have identified with. Was it pushing and forcing or settling for status quo? Some people are easygoing and flow with life, and then there are others who want to change the course of the river. I have a little of both in me. So I'd like you to notice if you're a type A and you do the pushing and forcing something through no matter what, or if you're more type B, then you'd likely be passive and settle for status quo. So what's the underlying issue with this stage, and why can it be so uncomfortable? It is by far the most painful one, since we witness our lack of progress, and it isn't for lack of effort. We're trying. We put time and energy into solving the problem, but we aren't clear on the best way to tackle it. So we end up pushing, or we go along. Now, when we get to stage 2, you'll see what this turns into and why it becomes super painful. Sometimes when clients come to me, they first start using manifesting techniques to achieve their goals. And I think because of the books and the movies out there and all these people who inspire this idea that manifesting is magic and that we can get whatever we want, and that can lead to people starting with overreaching goals. I recall one client new to this work. He set an intention for $90,000 in 90 days. Now, nothing wrong with that at all, except that his current income was nowhere near that amount. It was probably less than 10%. So what happened? The gap was too big. This amount excited him, as it would any of us. But a part of him believed it was impossible. He had been working hard on trying to make that level of income for a while. Now, that part didn't believe that it was possible for him, and that part lives in the unconscious mind. Now, in my work, we call these blockers, self-defeating unconscious habit patterns. And guaranteed, these blockers mess with our mindset, and they will make us believe it's impossible, and often they will win. Blockers create a negative mindset, and that's something I love to support people on, is working on their manifesting mindset. Because yes, part of it is having a positive, optimistic attitude, but that's not everything. Okay. That's why I advise when people are starting using manifesting to achieve their goals, is they set something within their reach. And you're learning how to use manifesting to achieve your bigger goals. And by starting with what I would say kind of rungs on a ladder, and you are breaking that bigger, more significant goal into phases, you set yourself up with success from the beginning, and that's always great. So you start with something that feels within your reach. Yes, it's a bit of a stretch, but you can imagine it. Now, I want to talk about something that I'm not sure is commonly understood. Within our unconscious mind, there is a set point around the amount of money we believe we can make, or the amount of love and affection and appreciation that we will allow into our life. We all have a place where we are comfortable in love and money. It's familiar. Past relationships where we didn't have our needs met become what is familiar and known. And moving beyond that, turning that thermostat up that we are worthy of more love, takes awareness and courage, and clearing the blocks that created that relationship in the first place. But that's beyond this podcast right now. So these set points, whether it's financial or love, they create a fear of asking for what you want. I'm going to repeat, that's really important. These kind of experiences in our life where it's we've had continued disappointment or failure, these set points in the unconscious mind, which can create what's familiar, they set up a fear of asking for what we want. Because, hey, we've been disappointed so many times before that we won't allow ourselves to get our hopes up. And then our opinion of ourselves can be so low, we won't even try, which is why, not that we're talking about relationships in this podcast, but that's often why people get to a certain point and they don't want to try again. And they just won't put themselves out there because it's too painful. They don't want to experience it again. And that, my friends, is what I address in my upcoming book, Mindful Manifesting Guide, where we talk about that in detail. And not only that that's the case, but how to overcome it. Okay, so let's get back to this here. So a fear of asking for what they want. They have settled and talked themselves into everything's okay. It's kind of like the frog in the boiling water. Settling for status quo is way more comfortable than getting disappointed again. Another thing that happens is fear of change, even if it is good change. We can fear what will be required if income goes up, because maybe we're going to lose our best friends because now we're too busy, or our income is really like skyrocketing and we're now on the bestseller list and there's going to be a lot of demand on our time. Okay. So settling for status quo or fear of change can really influence us at this stage. Now, if you're at this stage, you might be feeling frustrated. Either you're pushing yourself too hard and you're not getting the results, or it's hard to get yourself going and you're just kind of putting one foot in front of the other, but you don't really have clear goals. You just know that life is uncomfortable and you want to change, but you haven't articulated it in a way that you're inspired and energized. It might just be, oh, that's kind of nice, I'd like that, but it feels impossible. So let's talk about an action item. What can you do if you find yourself in this stage and this is resonating with you? Okay, stage 1 action item. Number 1, remember a time when you wanted something and got it. Maybe it comes up instantly. Now, 2, remember a time when you wanted something and didn't get it. I'd like you to notice, did you become aware that the thing you wanted really wasn't right for you? And maybe something better came along. That's insightful, right? That's learning. But sometimes if we're not in a place of reflecting back on our life, we may completely miss that. So again, action item for stage 1, remember a time when you wanted something and got it. 2, now remember a time when you wanted something and didn't get it. 3rd, this is my favorite thing to recommend to you right now, is to create a future possibilities wish list. This is where you gather your wishes, desires, and intentions. And it's all in one place. You can get this for free at highertoyourself.com/freebies. Now, this is a wonderful workbook, and this particular exercise, you will get a guided meditation and also a handout to print out and write on. And it will inspire you to prime the manifesting pumps. And for me, every time I do it, and all my clients say this, it creates an immediate mindset shift into positivity, leading you into an inspiring future. Now remember that manifesting success is not solely about wishful thinking. It requires consistent effort and a proactive mindset. So following these stages and staying focused on your intentions can increase your chances of manifesting your desired success. Just stick with it. It works. So as we wrap up, I'd like to define what is success in this phase, in stage 1. It's rock solid clarity on your goal that is reasonable and feels achievable. Thank you so much for listening. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend or leave a review. And remember, self-confirmation frees you to fulfill your potential.